This thin strip of hair is where everything goes wrong. Do your bobs have holes in them? Does the ear get in the way? Do you have the bob gap, that jump in the hairline where it's perfect until it's not, right around the ear? I'm gonna show you some techniques that are gonna come in clutch when you're cutting your bobs. But first things first, everything begins with the prep. So let's jump into it. My team member prepped her hair with Strength Cure. First, she applies the shampoo, of course using the bud as a guide for how much product to apply to her hair. Next, she applies the mask to deliver deeper strengthening benefits. Prepping the hair is everything for the outcome, from your shampoo, conditioner, masks, even to your leave-in conditioner. With Color Fanatic 21 essential benefits, we're going to prime, protect, and perfect. I'm spraying Color Fanatic 21 essential benefits generously throughout the hair. I want to make sure that there's an even amount of product from the front of the hairline all the way into the nape. Having that even porosity not only is going to have a better blowout outcome, but it's also going to make sure that my sections stay wet, the hair stays even and consistent throughout the entire haircut. A great haircut doesn't just end up that way, it starts with intention. I'm going to be starting the haircut in the nape. I'm going to be taking two slightly diagonal forward sections from the occipital all the way to behind the ear, which is going to give us our guide to length for our perimeter. And then we're going to work our way up, and then we're going to work our way around. I'm making sure that my fingers are parallel to the horizon or the floor. I'm going to continue that same straight line all the way around. Slightly extending the length out as I get to the corner of the ear. You saw how I went from the center to the right and then to the left. I like to take the wide teeth of my comb and comb it left to right and then down. And what that does is it gives me a very accurate way of measuring my balance and shape, and it also helps neutralize any cowlicks that may be present in the lower part of the hairline. Now that the nape has been established, the baseline is balanced, and our length has been determined, I'm going to be moving forward to the front hairline. I'm going to take a vertical section dividing the front and the back at the high point of the ear. This is going to set me up to make sure that I don't get that hole that normally and does often appear in bobs right around here. I've parted the hair in front and behind. There's so much going on behind the round of the ear. The head rounds up, the head rounds horizontally, and the hairline jumps up. When you're working this one area as a solid piece, it makes the connection point in front of the ear that much smoother. Since she previously has so much texture built into her hair already, taking this larger section is going to help me refine the areas that need to be stronger. I'm going to subsection right behind the ear. This thin strip of hair is where everything goes wrong. If this gets cut too short, it rounds up. It's better to err on the side of caution and increase this length going forward, because the ears stick out and that's going to automatically bring the length up. So I'm using this as my marker to continue going long. Switching to the wide teeth of your comb and angling your fingers down. As you can see, it gets high here and it gets lower. This is the part that needs to get cut. And now we've solved our bob gap. So now I'm going to be connecting from behind the ear to in front of the ear. We're going to be using the wide teeth of our comb because it's going to give us the least amount of tension. We're going to be pulling the hair down and make sure that my fingers are making contact on her neck to help show where the ear is pushing the hair out above and below. When you push in with your scissor, the hair is going to naturally rise up above and below your fingers. For safety, always increase the line slightly, getting longer to ensure that you do not end up rounding the front corner up, preventing it from having that nice, clean, classic box bob. When you release the hair and you comb it down, it will not look straight. That's because the ear is in the way. Finding where you left off, the longest pieces, and then continuing that line straight. Now it's time to move through the top. She wants to go through and make sure that her finish has a nice classic, timeless, blunt line. And so in order to do so, we need to keep taking horizontal sections all the way down. Starting at the ear, pushing down with my scissors above and below, with my fingers making contact on the neck, and following the line that I've cut previously. Sometimes there's a little, sometimes there's a lot. As the hairline goes higher, it goes out further into the front. In order to make sure that we don't round that corner off, we want to make sure that we're over directing this hair back behind the eye. And for our final piece, some of it may reach, some of it may not, depending on if your client or your guest in the salon has pre-existing layers. This is a really great technique of adding more strength and more of a classic finish to that edge of their hairline. Again, just do a little bit of a flat wrapping technique with the wide teeth of your comb to make sure that there's no root movement or no hairs that got tucked behind the ears that you don't know until it happens. Always make sure to check your work in the mirror for line continuity as well as balance. And if you do happen to see that it gets a little bit longer where the ear is, that is your golden ticket that you did it correctly. Because when it blow dries, that ear is gonna occupy that space, the hair's gonna lift up, and you are gonna have a banging bob. This little guy right here, that's where the ear sticks out. So if you actually don't have this, your hairline will jump up. But if you have this piece hanging down, you're gonna end up with a nice even straight line. This is the part that everyone cuts off because they go, oh no, I made a mistake. You didn't make a mistake, you did it correctly. This is your medal of I did it correctly. Now that we have our precious piece here that lets us know that we did not cut a hole in the baseline, I'm gonna repeat everything on the other side. Can't wait to show you off the finish. I dried her, I styled her, and most importantly, no ear gap.